Your Master of Ceremonies, Michael Boyd. Good morning. Welcome to the 2012 National Flood Conference here, and as Steve said, wonderful Austin. Did everybody get to enjoy Pilot's reception last night? I've learned over the years, I now bring a cooler with me for the reception. Before we get started, too, at the reception, I was talking to various people, and I was talking with Marilyn Martin. She has a little chicken ranch outside of Austin here someplace, and the chickens lay different colored eggs, which is fascinating to me. We were talking to her about the storm that went through Saturday night, and a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning. But there was also a lot of wind with it. It was so windy out at the ranch that she had one hen lay the same egg 3 times. Wow, tough getting that out. That aside, Austin is really a dynamic, exciting, and culturally diverse place, a perfect place for the Flood Conference. I mean, it's got everything. It's got bats to belfries. It's got music to museums. It's got, you can tour an historic home or admire the Capitol Dome. You can even take a walk or a run by the river. Austin has a lot to deliver, and so does this conference. Now, our first speaker this morning is Miss Eleanor Kitzman. Ms. Kitzman was appointed the Texas Insurance Commissioner in August of 2011 by Governor Rick Perry. She has served as the Executive Director of the South Carolina Budget and Control Board and as a past Director of the South Carolina Department of Insurance. She also was a former clerk of the Texas Supreme Court. In addition, Ms. Kitzman previously held management positions with several insurers and reinsurers and practiced law with the Austin office of Aiken, Gump, Strauss, Hauer, and Feld. She is a member of the State Bar of Texas and South Carolina Bar Association. Ms. Kitzman received her BA from the University of Houston in 1984 and her JD from South Texas College of Law, 1986. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Eleanor Kitzman.
Wow. I speak to a lot of groups, and never have I felt like a rock star. I mean, music and all, and lights, and welcome to Austin. I know that you've already spent a little time here, and Mike has just sort of regaled you with the many things that the city has to offer, and hope you have more opportunity to take advantage of that. For those of you who are not from around this area, you may think it's a little warm and muggy, but just be glad this wasn't last year. Last year we were already bumping up close to the triple digits and stayed that way for quite some time. The flood insurance program is something that is very near and dear to the heart of many Texans, and certainly is an important part of tangentially to the Texas Department of Insurance, and primarily because we have we have a large coast, so it comes into play during storm season, which we are rapidly approaching. As Mike said, Austin is a very diverse place. Texas is a very diverse state in many ways, not the least of which is when it comes to catastrophic risk. We have some of everything. And typically, being big and you think of being able to spread your risk, and that's a good thing. But sometimes, and then this is one of them, we are in a cycle where we have hurricane risk, we have hail risk, we have tornado risk. We last year had severe wildfires. Heck, we even had an earthquake last year, which I thought that was the one that we didn't have. I thought we didn't have sinkholes, but then I found out that we just call them slab claims here. So we really do, have it all. But flood is one of those things that, anywhere in the state can be, subject to flood risk. Actually, there are parts of the state that wouldn't mind a little of that right now. We are still in one of the worst droughts that we've ever been in. And I guess our history kind of is, as with many things in the state of Texas, we do things in a big way. And so it's very volatile. We're either having a drought or, we need, the way that we solve our drought problem is usually with a storm that has a name associated with it. And that'll take care of it for a little while, and then we go back to drought. The coastal issue here is very important. It's has some things in common, I guess, with the flood insurance program, in the sense that we have a large residual market. The wind pool is not the only insurer of wind on the coast, but it is it's the largest insurer of wind on the coast. And of course, when there is a storm, one of the big issues is always, or I shouldn't say always, but frequently, and certainly was a big issue with our last major storm, which was Ike. And is it wind or is it water? And the Texas legislature last session, they have attempted to put a process in place for trying to streamline that determination. And the department is, we're in the process of drafting rules to implement legislation, and a draft of that rule is already out there. But basically, we are trying to, or under the statute, the department appoints an expert panel that is going to develop, a methodology for use in making that determination of whether the cause of loss was wind or water. And in some cases that's not as straightforward as you would think that it would be. And once that panel has done its work and puts out that methodology, it is intended to be pretty much the last word on it. It's very difficult it will be very difficult to deviate, from that finding. It has a very high legal bar, to deviating from the finding based on that expert panel methodology. Now, we'll see how all of that goes. Of course, we won't know until there's an event and until someone attempts to challenge it. But it's been recognized that this is a very, very big issue, and getting people's claims and getting paid and getting people back in their homes and businesses back in business is very important, not only to the people who live in those homes and work in those businesses, but certainly for the communities that where those businesses are located and people live, and it's their their tax base, their source of revenue. So it's very important that we get this right, or that we address it as best we can. And I think that for the most part, my experience has been that the industry, the insurance industry, and NFIP have worked well together, but we're just trying to really improve on that and provide as much certainty around the process as we can. As y'all all know, better than I do, because you live with this day in and day out and have been through a lot more catastrophes than I have, fortunately. So you know how important it is and how difficult this is on people who are affected by it. So I appreciate y'all being here in my city. I appreciate the work that you do, and it looks like you've got a great program lined up. And I'm anxious. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be here for most of it, but I'm anxious to hear about it from some of y'all afterwards and see what comes out of it as we just keep doing the best we can to address what looks like this is going to be another big year for the flood industry in all of the catastrophe industry. So thank you again for being here. Enjoy the city. It does have a lot to offer. Thank you.